Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Laws of Community. Today is the 6th of July, so happy late Independence Day. Yeah, we that was this past week. So if you got to celebrate, hopefully your hearing is back by now. You've had 2 days to recuperate. I would hope it's back by now. If not, maybe tone down on the fireworks next time. Just a tip coming from someone who is already basically deaf. So yeah, definitely take care of yourself, take care of your babies, take care of your dogs when it comes to fireworks and such. And that is totally a tangent I did not mean to go on. um, Nonetheless, like I said, happy late Independence Day. We are here. We are ready to go and talk to an amazing person, as we always bring you amazing people. Ron should be joining me. He's working on it. Nonetheless, I wanted to let everyone know about a special that I'm running for Crystal Dragon Illumination. And that is a tarot reading special offer that I'm doing. See if we can throw this up here. So this is going to be a pay what you can for tarot readings, and a minimum requirement of $10 is all that's required. Normally, this is a $60 item that I sell through my business. However, right now, until July 15th, if you go and follow the business page on Facebook or Instagram, doesn't matter which one, you can get a $10 reading instead of $60, or anywhere. If you want to pay $100 for it, you are more than welcome to pay $100 for it, but you're only required to pay $10 right now. So I wanted to let everyone know about that. And for those, I feel like for those who don't know what a tarot reading is, the way I explain it is it's kind of like putting a spiritual mirror in front of your face and looking at the things that you don't really want to look at. And so if there's something in your life that you need to possibly get a little nudge for, it might be the time to get a tarot reading if you've never had one. I do have one second. I do have reviews on my page, so if you are unsure about that, you can go look at reviews on the Crystal Dragon Illumination page. But yeah, otherwise, I hope that you, if you would like to, come get a reading, and maybe you'll get some answers that you've been needing lately. By the way, welcome to all of our live viewers that we have. Thank you, Johnny Regan, for being here with us. We love you, Johnny. Johnny is like family. We had Johnny on our very first episode, and hoping to have him on again prior to Global Vision Conference for 2024. I think that would be cool. Nonetheless, I guess we will get to our main event for the day, possibly, unless Ron here is able to get on. Can you hear me?
Hello, yes, I can hear you. I don't know why my name is K, though.
It's all right. It'll get fixed. That's what we have an engineer
Can
for.
y'all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, can you see me?
I could. I feel like it's a bit bright for your background, though.
I'm sorry.
You look
Let me,
like a god. You're just so
ooh,
bright.
ooh. You know,
Oh, do you have anything to start out with, or would you like me to just introduce Carl, or what's up?
well, I didn't fully hear what all you said, but, uh, what I do have to say is I'm excited, for, for Carl, honestly, because everything that he's been doing recently has been so like empowering to himself and the people around him. He's been really getting a lot started. There's multiple things he's going to talk about today that he's got started, that he's got doing, here recently. And the average person, you'd go, whoa, wow, because a lot of us don't tend to just go, okay, let me do this, let me do this, let me do this. These are going to make my life. That's something that Carl is focusing on right now. He's really focusing on stuff that will really just bring him a step further, into new realms. So I think it's going to be amazing to have him on today and share, with everybody kind of what he's going through and what he's having to deal with in order to go through these new steps and get
Yeah.
himself into these new realms. So
Well, I do have a little bit of an introduction that I was going to read about him
okay.
that Johnny so wonderfully wrote on Facebook, and I really liked it. So Carl Freiberg, let's get this graphic up here too. Carl, he is the president at Running for Your Lifestyle. He is a motivational speaker, mentor, trainer, and published author of several books, including his most recent book and course titled Goal Setting Simplified. He was featured in July 2023 as a co-author in the 19th publication of The Change Book and has appeared on stages, podcasts, and live interviews like this one. And yeah, he will be at Global Vision Conference on the stage this year. That is where we met him last time. So let's bring him on up. Welcome, Carl.
Welcome, Carl, with a K.
Carl is in the house. Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. I'm so excited and so thrilled to be here, especially to spend time with you two beautiful souls once again. As was mentioned, Ronald and Hanna and I all had the privilege of meeting and greeting and getting to know each other at the last Global Vision Conference number 9 in January of this year. Both of you, as you know, have touched my life, and I'm just so thrilled and excited to be here to share over the next 3 or 4 hours with all of your audience. I'm really looking forward to this.
Well, I don't know if we'll go on for that long, but we can definitely get a story or two in, I think, with our well, let's see, we have like 21 minutes left now, I think.
22 and a half.
Great.
But absolutely. Thank you for being here with us too. It's definitely an honor to finally hear a lot more, of your stories and to hear what you're doing, because when we met you back at the Global Vision Conference, you were kind of just, what I remember at least is what you were saying is you were still kind of just finding your pace at that moment. And you were happy to like be there and finally, to put yourself into like these bigger groups. If I remember correctly, right? You were kind of just taking that step out there, and now within the last 6 months, you've completely just blown yourself out of the water in a sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth and similarity into what you're saying. I just a quick kind of 30-second background of Carl with a K. I've been a serial entrepreneur, motivational webinar seminar junkie for 40 years. I'm always looking for ways to help improve myself so that I can take that knowledge and move it into programs, trainings, coachings, mentoring, etc., that I can share the things that I've learned and in my 62 years here on this planet with others, and to help better their lives as well. So yes, I think the long and the short of what you just said would be more along the lines of I found the right family and the right
Yes.
group to run with most recently, and that's a story for another day. But it's interesting how choices and the decisions that you make on your path, on your journey, can have these huge like changes on the scope and the direction of where your life goes. Um, Real
Absolutely.
quickly, again, I know we're time is of the essence. A dear friend of mine from my high school invited me to an event in Miami in December, which turned into me reconnecting with him from over 40 years, reconnecting with an amazing group of people, which included Johnny Regan and, of course, Blanca, who is very much involved with what you guys are doing and very much involved with this wonderful community, with the laws of life that we're all involved with. And that's what brought me to the Global Vision kickoff party, birthday party for Johnny, which brought me to Global Vision, which brought me to now sitting with Johnny. I'm so pleased and thrilled on almost a monthly basis. At least once a month, we get together and brainstorm because I'm very much involved in working with helping to make Global Vision 10 even more amazing than Global Vision 9 was, which I know you both know was an amazing event.
That's awesome. And I am 100%
That is
jealous
amazing.
that you get to meet with him once a month.
It's all about proximity. He lives close to me, and we enjoy each other's company. So yeah, and we've got some great things in the works. And of course, with this show especially, you'll know more and more about Global Vision as we go along. I know you kind of want me to share a little bit more about who I am and what I'm up to. So is it time we should move into some of that?
Go ahead, sir. That would be awesome.
Okay, so interestingly enough, a life changing injury changed the trajectory of my life about 4 years ago. I had an accident that we won't go into right now, but of course, somewhere along the way, because this is a chance for me to share about myself. A Limb for a Limb is the book that I wrote that you'll be able to find through contacting me. I actually have a couple of gifts for everybody tonight that stay the course and hang out until the end of this show. Um, so it kind of woke me up and gave me a new direction in life because I was literally in recovery for about 4 months right as COVID began. I got to the point where I could get back to work at my job literally as COVID began, and then that shut down the world as we know for another 6 months. So when I don't work, my income goes to zero. Um, so it put me into a place of I have to figure out, especially at 62 years old. I'm a young 62, a little gray, but I know that I'm not going to be able to do what I do in the yachting industry, which is electronics, for the rest of my life. And as time goes on, there's going to be less and less I can do. So I began looking at new opportunities and new ways. And it's interesting, they just put up my Solar Solutions, which is the company that I just started about a month ago at 62 years old, because you're never too young, you're never too old to begin another project in a new direction in life. So I found, again, through interestingly enough through that event that I attended in Miami, which has changed my trajectory. I found this solar platform that the world and the environment, and being, if you can't tell, a bit of a hippie and a tree hugger, the idea of green energy and helping to save the planet and reducing our carbon footprint is something that I'm very passionate about and have been as far back as I can remember, because we were helping recycle when I was 10 or 12 years old, when recycling people didn't even know about recycling. And we would literally go smash glass bottles
Wow,
all
that's
weekend
awesome.
in a dumpster so that they could turn them in and get them recycled in the early 1970s. So
Wow.
believe it or not, it's been around. We're just really slow learners. So the Solar Solutions is the newest company I started, which is of course residential solar panels. We'll probably circle back and do something later about that as when it's really completely launched. Because I've also created a system within it that I can offer anybody that's willing the opportunity to turn it in, to monetize it and turn it into a potentially an income stream for themselves, because it goes along with this idea of me running for your lifestyle. Running for your lifestyle means exactly that. You're doing whatever it takes. You're living with wit, WIT, whatever it takes. That I'm unstoppable and I will achieve and believe and conceive whatever idea that I want to, and I will take that to the finish line. So as that progresses, I'm putting together basically a simple postcard system where all they have to do is find somebody that might be this much interested in solar. They get a free guide that shows them everything they need to know. If they're interested, they reach out to me. I'm not looking for somebody to hammer. I want them to say, yes, tell me more. And if that turns into a deal, then I pay the person with the postcard. And hundreds of dollars. I mean, not nothing to sniff about. So we can come circle back around in the future on that one. Running for Your Lifestyle, which is my logo here, which you also saw when they pulled everything up, is my goal setting simplified book, which I am now in the process of kind of I'm not really changing the book, but I've got my designer working on what we're doing is we're combining the book and the workbook together into one volume, because I had a challenge with Amazon with trying to sell the book and the workbook. I couldn't combine the two as a kit because the workbook doesn't have enough volume of information in it because it's exercises. So it's write the following things and then a bunch of lines. So what we're doing is we're putting the whole thing together into one. And that's one of the two gifts that I'm going to share with everybody this evening is find me at carlfreiberg@gmail.com. Find me at info@solarsolutionsspecialties.com. Find me on Facebook. I'm the only Carl with a K Freiberg out there. And say, hey, I saw you on the show. Where's my free gifts? And I will send you downloadable Google Drive PDF copies of both my books so that you can really get to know who I am. Anything from you guys?
That's awesome, Carl. We really appreciate you doing that for our viewers. I am going to put that in the comments as well.
You see Carl there? Osong. Hello, Osong. He's a dear friend from the other side of the world.
Let me see. Oh, Ron's already ahead of me putting it out there. I love it. Yes, all of the love for Carl. Thank you guys for joining us live. We appreciate all of our live viewers. And yeah, be sure to comment so you can actually interact live and let Carl know how much you love him.
Yes. And I apologize. I didn't respond for a moment after you asked to us.
You're focused.
I was just responding like she said. But I honestly, I think it's a beautiful thing what you're doing. Everything that you're doing is to help others ultimately. And, a lot of people go out there to start something new to help themselves. So it's really beautiful that you're not just starting things to help yourself. You're going out there and you're doing a lot, especially you being there and going and meeting up with Johnny month to month basis. I mean, all you're doing right there is helping a lot of kids, of kids. So you're helping, you're out there really doing a lot of love spreading, and that is what we need more in today's society. And especially, being somebody of your generation, that it's powerful what you're doing, because there's so many people out there that get stuck in their rut. They're bent on retiring or whatever, and they get stuck in that mentality and don't realize that retirement's not going to last. So, definitely props on what you're doing too, and how you're going about it and thinking about things and sharing this with our community, because you ultimately, are giving a beautiful voice for those out there of all ages. In reality, your whole audience just is across the pages. So thank you for that.
I'm really honored to hear the way that you shared that. And it is interesting because running for your lifestyle in its infancy and in its inception, really the bottom underlying part of that is, and it's a sad thing to share, but it's something that needs to be again brought to the surface, is that again I'm just a month away from 63 years old, 62 years old this year. And I broke is not a proper term, but what I call it is many of my friends that are 60 to 70 years old are broke and scared to death because they never taught us that, first of all, that we were going to live this long. And second of all, that we should think about retirement money and things. And, I always call it broke has many different meanings. I'm just broke at a higher level. So we live well, we do well, but the idea that what I do to trade hours for dollars is not going to last till I'm 90 years old. And one of the reasons that the whole solar program attracted me, because I need a voice, I need an ear, and I need an internet connection. And I can still sell solar projects when I'm 90 in my RV overlooking the Grand Canyon. And as I said, if I can turn that into a system that others of my age group or your age group or anybody's age group needs to make, imagine what just one deal, $500 commission, one deal a month. You find one person a month that considers and buys solar for their home, and you've made $500 to help buy your groceries, pay your car payment, your gas, whatever it is. And it's been my passion it's part of the reason it's taken me so long to develop the website and the platform, is because I really want it to be, if you run in the motivational circuits, the webinars and all that kind of stuff, one of the ones is parachute into any town is the concept. They use it a lot of times with multi-level marketing. Many big gurus are like, you can give me $5 and drop me in any town, and in a week's time, I'm going to be rich. So I'm trying to create literally a cookie, not really, I don't like cookie cutter because that's got its own weird things about it, but I'm trying to create a simple system that is as easy as, yes, I would like to help you. And I'll send you the postcards with your name on them and you give them away. And if it works, great. If you don't give them away, great. It's not going to matter to me. It's whether or not you want to take and develop your own passion within it and do it. So I don't know how much time we have left or if you have other questions, but I'd love to share the quick story about my week of crazy struggles.
Absolutely. Go ahead. We have about 5.5 minutes left.
All right. So I just spent 5 days in Boulder, Colorado. I live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, South Florida. We were flying out Friday morning at 8 a.m., arriving at 10 in Colorado because there's a 2-hour difference. And we wake up at 5 a.m. and United Airlines says, your flight is canceled due to severe weather. Doesn't say your flight is canceled. Here's your next flight. Here's your next trip. Oh, we're working on it. My wife and I both get on customer service on hold. They're not answering their phones. They're not doing anything. I get on the internet and there is not a plane flight available in the world. on Friday morning of 4th of July weekend to get to Boulder, Colorado. I found 2 tickets on Southwest for Saturday afternoon for $800 and something. And my wife is like, no, we can't do that. Let's see what they can do for us. I'm like, honey, you don't understand. There's 2 tickets left in the world. I'm buying them. Bing. Off we go to the airport at 8 o'clock, 6:30 on Friday morning to United, who says, we have one at 11 that's overbooked with 3 people waiting on standby. You're welcome to go sit in the gate. So we went. Came down, there was 1 seat available for the 2 of us, and we elected to give it to somebody else because my wife wouldn't leave without me and I wouldn't leave without her. With tears in our eyes, we go home Friday night. We were supposed to get there a full day ahead of time so that we could spend time with our daughter and son-in-law. We go home, we get up at 4 a.m. Saturday morning, because now we can get on standby with Southwest all day long. So we get there. The only one that's not so overbooked that we can actually get on standby is an 11 o'clock flight. So off we go at 5:30 a.m. to wait for the 11 o'clock plane in the airport. You want to, if you ever get bored, of course, you can't get to the best part of the airport without a ticket, but it's the best people watching almost that there is in the world. And it's amazing how many service animals there are nowadays also.
Oh,
so there
goodness.
we go. So we meet this beautiful woman at the Southwest Airlines counter and tell her our story of woe. And I'm going, well, is there any rule against like going and greasing somebody to give up their seats or whatever? At this point, I'm looking at $1,500 first class tickets. If I could buy them, I would have bought them. Broke at a higher level. Means I had credit cards. I could have done that. To anything to get there. The stories about goal setting and the trials and tribulations, because I forgot to say that in the beginning. So here we go. So then 1 ticket again is available. We give it up. This woman gets on. There was 2 tickets on a direct flight about 3 hours later that was going to get us to Denver at 8 o'clock Saturday night. Of course, the first of 3 nights of Dead and Company, which is the Grateful Dead, what's left of the Grateful Dead, their final tour ever as Dead and Company. We had all 3 nights and the Millennium Hotel package at the tune of about $1,000 a day that my daughter bought for us as my birthday present, Christmas present, Father's Day present, birthday present, Christmas Day, Father's Day present. I told her, you don't owe me nothing for the rest of my life for what she did. Long and the short, this woman jumps through fiery hoops and finds us 2 tickets on that direct flight, because while we were waiting, our flight got delayed an hour and a half, which means we would have missed our connection in St. Louis, Missouri, which would have put us into St. Louis airport about 8:30 or 9 o'clock that night, which means we might have been flying home from St. Louis yesterday instead of ever getting to Boulder. So we finally get there. We literally check into the hotel at 10 o'clock, go running up the trail to the Folsom Field, the University of Colorado by 10:30 as the swarm of hippies is coming down the hill. Completely missed the first night. Next day, we promised ourselves we wouldn't go hiking. We wouldn't go doing a bunch of walking. I think I mentioned I lost a toe 4 years ago. So what do we do all day Sunday? Walking. We had to go to Shakedown Street, which was a 25-minute walk down the river. Beautiful walk down the river. Down we go, 90 degrees. We get there. We're overheated. We're horrible. We turn around, come home. By the time we get to the show, we miss the bus to get to the show. We Uber to get to the show. End up in the nosebleeds because we're so late. By the time the first set is over, my foot is thumping. My wife's back. She's wiped out from the heat, everything else. We decide to leave after 2 hours of show number 2, which is show number 1 for us. By the time we get home, she wants to call 911 on me. My foot's purple. I'm writhing in pain. No, the whole Saturday night Sunday night was absolutely horrible for me. I wake up I'm in tears. I've ruined our entire trip. I may never work again. I can't freaking walk. I've been up all night with all this pain. My daughter and her friends and everybody, they've already got a wheelchair lined up for me. We're on our way to Walmart to go get crutches. No, you're going to the show, dude. You're not missing number 3. This is no way this is happening. We drove around. I walked for 2 months on crutches after my second operation in really serious pain. I'm like, okay, I can do this. We had VIP floor tickets for all 3 nights, which required a special wristband. We gave them to our daughter the first 2 nights. She's 40. She had a time of her life. Is standing for 5 hours. We ended up on the ADA, the disability platform, 100 feet from the stage for the entire third show, start to finish.
Wow.
They're getting ready to end the first set. And the thunderstorms come, and they make the stage announcement. We've got thunderstorms. We're going to have to shut the show down. They were literally 10 minutes from the first break. 3 yellow shirts arrive up on our platform. You're all going to the tunnel. Just follow us. We're talking 30,000 people trying to get out of the stadium to get to cover. They parted the seas and furrowed all of us straight through like a line of 50 people wide trying to go up the stands. And it's to back up a minute. When we got there, they brought us in through the tunnel, past the Heisman trophies, past all of the uniforms, past all the practice like you play, all these like motivational phrases. We got to come into the event through the tunnel that the football team comes out onto the field.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's where they furrowed us back into for the storm. We come back out. Y'all have to find me on Facebook because there's some really cool pictures of what all went on. Maybe 30 minutes of the show got kind of delayed. So the second half, those who don't know the Grateful Dead, they're notorious for playing 25-minute, 30-minute songs. So the songs were 15 or 18 minutes each. So they could squeeze the rest of them in. And then the University of Colorado Folsom Field was having a drone show for the 4th of July, which was the next night, the 3rd. So if anybody can Google Dead & Company drone show, they hired the drones. And all of a sudden, after they always do a drum jam and then what they call space near the end of the show. As the space jam began, 1,000 drones light up the sky over top of the stadium, and they morph into the Steal Your Faces, all the
all the Steelies and stuff. That's cool.
Then the Dancing Bears, and the one guy there's one guy that got a 5-minute video of the entire. When the Steal Your Faces were done, they all dripped and just melted away. They all just disappeared one drone at a time.
That's a cool last show.
Absolutely freaking fabulous. Again,
that is awesome.
Every flaming arrow and fiery hoop in the world was fired at us from the time we woke up on Friday morning. Coming home yesterday was completely seamless. Imagine that. So that's Monday night's over. Now it's Tuesday, 4th of July, my wife's 66th birthday. The other reason we stayed the extra day, and my daughter and her husband picked us up and took us on a 45-mile, 4-hour trek. We got to see the Rockies. We got out, got pictures, went to this beautiful tea house for dinner. Just absolutely fabulous. Came home. I got to hang out with actually Bobby Weir, who is the lead guitarist and singer. I got to hang out with his personal meditation guru.
What? That's awesome.
Who yesterday or Tuesday afternoon gave me Bobby's brand new Wolf Brothers CD that he had given to Harish the night before. He's like, no, I want you to have this. So I came home with it was in plastic. We had to take the plastic off, but it was touched by Bobby Weir.
That's amazing.
And that's my story. And I think I did pretty good.
Man, I hope some of my Deadhead friends are watching this show tonight, because that right there would make so many of them just go, wow, because I have so many, especially being from Oregon, I have so many friends that are deadheads. And, it just, that's awesome. That's amazing I mean, you had so much happen, but you still ended up having some amazing things come at you at the end. That's awesome. And I mean, that right there kind of, from my perspective, goes along with everything you've said so far in our show too, honestly, with what you're doing too, because no matter what life is throwing at you, you still got to move forward. You still are going to have those experiences that, try to bring you down, but you're going to find those golden moments. And, you going and still doing it that last show, even though your foot was the way it is. I mean, that right there is you're really, you're doing something that is going to completely make your life. um I don't even know how to put it into words, but you know what I'm saying, I'm sure. um that right there is beautiful, what you did in order to get that moment.
Yeah.
That one moment, having that CD passed to you, uh, that passed you right there in that one moment. You know, I feel like that even just makes it all worth it.
And
So
I know the beautiful thing about these kind of shows is they end up in the ether and they're here forever. And just for anybody that catches this in the future or along the way, just as I mentioned before, reach out to me. I'll share my books with you. They're just going to be downloadable PDFs, so it's of zero cost to me, and it's about me sharing and spreading and paying forward and giving the love. But the other thing is that I know there's probably a lot of people, and I'll try to wrap this up quick with this idea, but there's a lot of people that have their own challenges and physical disabilities and things like this. And I'm a very proud individual. And it was really difficult for me to bring myself, how your brain works, to bring myself to a level where I'm expecting people to care for me and give me handouts and and be subservient to me. I've always been the giver, the servant, the person that does all that. And I just want people to understand, because also when I got to the Denver airport, the same thing. I walked in on crutches and it was immediately, here's your wheelchair, here's your free ride to the gate, here's your front row seat to get on the plane. I don't recommend people go break their toe or cut their toe off just to get free rides on air or easy rides on airplanes. But we get out of the plane in Fort Lauderdale. There's a guy there, sees me on crutches. Do you need a chair? I'm like, oh, no, you stay right here. Wheel us right on out to the curb where we picked up our car. And again, for me, it's hard for me to humble myself to do that. And I guess my message is, if you have these kind of challenges, especially if you're going on a journey, a trip that's going to require you to be at your best when you're on that trip, take advantage of the opportunity to let others care for you and make it a little bit easier for you. My dad was 92 before he ever would get in a wheelchair. He couldn't walk from 88 almost. He marched with walkers and then wobbly, and he was just too proud. And at 62, having to do it, it's kind of you want to feel embarrassed, but it's not embarrassing. People have problems. So if there was my closing note about never give up, and no matter how many flaming arrows and fiery hoops come at you, if you got rhino skin and it keeps getting thicker, those arrows don't hurt so much as you go on. And be accepting and open to others who want to share and help.
thank you.
Wow.
Well said.
Yeah. Beautifully said, Carl. Thank you so much.
It's definitely been an honor having you on our show today, and I I've learned something absolutely
Oh,
from
yeah.
this episode. Being
Def-
somebody who I have had quite a few, you know, debilitating things at times.
I know your story.
And I, it's definitely it's appreciated to hear someone of your age still pushing that positivity, because there's so many people that give up. And I really appreciate you being on here and sharing for everybody.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here, Carl. And we will definitely be in touch in the future.
Yes.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
We'll see you later.
Y'all have
Yep.
a grateful day.
You as well.
Thank you. You have a grateful day as well. Bye.
Wow.
That was beautiful.
That was awesome. Do you have anything to wrap up with? I'm good. I'm ready to wrap up.
I was just gonna say to everybody, honestly, the biggest message that I've fully have gotten from Carl today with our new beginnings is, don't be afraid to go out there and make your new beginnings. Don't let the world,
Let's try. Yeah, at least try.
yeah, don't let the world take you down. Don't let life take you down. And just keep pushing. And even if it's hard for you to just allow certain things in life to be, you got to learn to allow certain things to be at times in order to overcome, in order to step on new paths. Like you said,
Yeah.
don't be too proud. Humble yourself a little bit and allow yourself to really take that moment in and go, hey, I can I can really take another step in life, and and I can do this. Like, don't just you know be too much in your head all the time. And that's something I feel like I'm saying, kind of, because that's also something I'm telling myself right now. So
Yeah.
thank you again, Carl, for everything that you've spread, all the positivity, all the love you spread. And don't forget to reach out to him, everybody who's viewed, everybody who's here, everybody who's viewed. Reach out to Carl, get your free book, read his stories, learn something, get some wisdom, and build your life. Go running for your lifestyle. So there you go.
Well said. All right. Well, I guess we'll let everyone get back to their regularly scheduled programs.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for joining us this week, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys.
Love you all. Have a good week.